know what?
Gosh, not gonna do it again. This sound's gonna be all messed up. What's up, guys? Higgins in Japan here with another edition of the Friday video. The Friday video is the video that I make right here in my car on the way home from work, and it's already a lie because it's not Friday, it's Saturday morning, and I'm not driving home from work. I'm driving home from the train station, which reminds me, this is the perfect time to introduce Titus's train station reviews. So Titus, how's the Utsunomiya station?
Alright, it's not bad. It's fairly clean as far as train station goes. The lines are occasionally confusing, but generally it's 7.5.
Okay, great. Thank you for that awesome review of the Utsunomiya train station. We're actually driving, I guess we're just going to drive back to my place because we got some time to kill, because I hate to break the news to you guys, but this is the last episode of the Friday video thing
Ever.
in this car.
Ever.
No, just in this car. Today we are retiring. Well, no, I am retiring the Silver Bullet. That's a name that I literally just came up with. I've never named any of my cars. But hey, still counts, right? The last day that I have it, the last like 3 hours that I own this vehicle, it finally has a name. So we're gonna talking shop, car talking shop here on the Friday video thing. Usually I talk about things that go on at school or like school life, but this is apropos, that's the right word, sure, of the Friday video thing, because hey, if you come to Japan, you might need to, buy a car, or at least rent a car, or something with a car, and so maybe this video will help you out. And so, because I'm buying a car today, and Titus is looking for a car, or looking at a car today, there's maybe some advice, or our story of what transpired in the purchasing of cars, or even taking driver's tests, because Titus just passed his driver's test as well. So
yeah, it's fresh.
It's fresh. The ink is still slightly damp on the license. Yep. But yeah, so I didn't really come up with any questions per se for anything that I wanted to talk about, because it's the Friday video thing, and I'm just gonna wing it. But so quickly, because I don't know how long it's gonna take us to get home. Quickly, my story. So I'm getting a newer car, and so some of the things that I had to do to get this new car. So I had to find the car. That was one thing. So there are websites here in Japan that you can use to browse cars. I used Car Sensor.
Same.
To find the car that I was looking for. I looked at a couple different cars, a couple different places, and finally settled on a place that actually seemed like they wanted to sell me a car.
Seriously.
The first two places I went to acted like I didn't exist. It's probably because I'm a foreigner, right? Because Japan's racist or something. Yeah. But at least that's what I'm going to blog about later. Yeah, so the first two places kind of just didn't really care that I was there. This third place, we were greeted pretty much as soon as we got out of the car. Yep. And that was, I would say, about 90% of me wanting to buy the car there. Was like, okay, you guys seem friendly. You have the car that I want, and I'd kind of already seen it online, so I kind of knew what I wanted. But yeah, so because, and this car that I'm getting is going to be a model, or like a classification higher than this current car. So I had to actually go through a couple different steps that I didn't have to do to get this car. So this car, basically I just showed up at the car dealership, said, hey, I want that car. They did the inspection. They did all of the stuff to get it certified. I paid cash and walked out the door a couple weeks later with a car. With this newer car that I'm getting, since it's a classification higher, one of the things I had to do that I didn't know that I had to do was my name stamp that I have. I actually had to get that registered at City Hall to prove that I was a real boy. and bring them a certificate from City Hall saying that I was a real live person and that I could buy, the car that I wanted. So that was kind of the steps. We're gonna go this way because it'll waste time, and also we can make the video longer. Who cares? Who cares?
It doesn't matter.
So that was kind of like the steps, and then today I'm gonna go over there, give them the title to this car. They're gonna give me the title to the new car. We're gonna exchange keys. We're gonna, make it rain. I'm just gonna walk in and just throw cash on the floor, because that's what you actually have to do in Japan. Little known fact when you're buying a car,
especially with a car.
You just take a wad of cash.
You can only pay cash.
Right. You can only pay.
And the smallest note possible.
Yes. Yeah. I tried to get 1 yen coins, but that I don't have enough bags for that.
Yeah.
So, sarcasm. That was. If you didn't know, now you know. But yeah, so that's kind of like what I had to do. And I don't know if you're planning on buying your car today. I don't know if you want to divulge those secrets here on the video.
I mean, if it looks as good as it does on the website, then I have no problem with saying that I want.
Hey guys, this is Titus, by the way. I didn't do that introduction.
I don't know.
Welcome to the Friday Video Thing, episode 101.
Oh, sweet.
Brought to you by Disney's 102 Dalmatians.
Oh, the Squeakquel.
The Squeakquel.
Yeah.
No, but Titus and I go way back.
Yeah, we do.
We went to the University of Phoenix together.
Yeah. Detroit branch.
The Detroit branch. Isn't University of Phoenix all online?
Yeah, well, most of it. I don't know if they have an actual like brick and mortar campus.
And we're back. So Titus and I went to college together, but now he lives in the area.
Pretty close.
Yeah. So that's why I was picking him up at the station, because he doesn't live in Utsunomiya.
Don't.
Gosh, why are you so nosy? So anyways, back to
me.
You talking about your vehicular.
Right. Yeah. I mean, from what you saw on the website and what we saw of your car, new car. Gives me good indication that like they keep up with their website, they update it. Like as soon as we left,
as soon as I told them
inside of an hour,
it
was off the website.
Yeah, as soon as I
was up to date,
told them that I wanted that car, it was off the website because I wanted all their cool pictures of the car, so I could like, hey, look at my car, and then they took them all down.
Right.
So, but that's all right. So, anyways. Yeah, I mean, like I've used Car Sensor before to look at cars and stuff like that, and they seem to be a pretty good site. I mean, they're just it's just a site for car dealers to be able to post their stuff on there.
Which is good because you're way less likely to get a lemon if you go through a dealership.
Yeah. So I do have a question actually. I just thought of one. Because we were talking about your driver's test.
Yep.
So when I took my driver's test, it was on like an actual course.
Seriously?
What?
Are you?
What?
Look at this snowflake.
What?
You see this snowflake?
Such a snowflake. Is that a thing that people still say?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll edit this part out. And we're back. So when I took my driver's test, it was on an actual course.
Yes.
And you were saying that yours was different than that question?
They have a course that they typically use. They have 2 courses at this place.
You could have given like a hey wave or a thumbs up or like hey finger guns.
Not even
nothing. Jeez.
Oh, man.
Drivers in Japan are so great. Yeah, it's probably because it's rampant. Anyways.
Alright, so they do have 2 different courses. I think one, there's like a section that they use for motorcycles. And I saw like in the morning session, they have like motorcycles and there's like buses and like backhoes and stuff.
Oh man, I want to take a backhoe test.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And so I was just taking the regular driving course for an automatic. And that's like another thing in Japan, that you got to match your license to the car you drive. Like, you can't have an automatic and buy a manual.
Yeah, you have to take a separate
Right. So typically a foreigner will test on the driving course at the driving center, but I have been in the car because with the way they do it, they have a person behind the person who's taking the test. They have the proctor, the person taking the test, and then they have a person in the back seat.
Don't use that language on my channel.
And then so there's always someone that's in the back. And one of the times that I went, I was actually sitting in the back for a Japanese person who was taking a test, and they were taking it like we actually went on the road, which was kind of cool. So I got to see how a regular Japanese person would take their test, like their driving test. So that's kind of cool to get that kind of experience, because I feel like people don't usually.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So was your driving test on the road or in a course?
Mine was on the course.
Oh, okay.
And it's always the same course.
Oh, okay.
Like they have a number and they say, okay, go down to the waiting room, and then you can walk it beforehand.
Yeah.
And you map it out and you can walk it beforehand.
Right. Which, pro tip, if you are going to take your driver's test in Japan, I highly suggest you do that.
Just do it. Like, don't be a dummy.
Just like familiarize yourself. They give you the opportunity to do it, so it's not like you're like sneaking out there. Like, I think I walked the course 3 times.
Yeah.
I was also with a guy that was helping me. Like, the company I worked for hired somebody to go with me, so he showed me on the map, like, hey, here's where you accelerate. Here's where you have to brake. Here's where you have to honk your horn when you go over a hill. Like,
oh wow.
Like, he told me everything. So, like, there was stuff that I would have not known.
Did you do train tracks?
Train tracks? No, I did not. No.
Like a railroad crossing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do that either.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just did a normal... It was kind of set up like a normal little city.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It had some blind corners. It had a red light. It had a stop sign.
You got S-curve.
S-curve,
You have that
90
crank.
degree.
Yep.
Which, honestly, like... because the car that I was in was not the car that I was going to drive, it was kind of odd.
Yeah.
But also...
Because you're in a different car you've not
I'd
used
never
before.
even driven in Japan,
Right.
so...
The whole right-left switch?
Yeah, like, literally, the guy that was with me, when we got to the DMV, driver's license center, whatever that's called, he was like, have you driven in Japan? And I said, no. So when was the last time you've driven a car? I said, like 8 months maybe. Do you want to drive? And so I said, sure. So I just jumped in his car and drove in a circle. And I was like, all right, that's good enough. Like, I got the feel for it. It doesn't feel any different. You're still driving a car. It's just, you're on the other side now.
Right.
I'm not letting you in. Crazy person. But yeah, so... Okay, so yours was on the course. Yeah. Yeah, because I wasn't sure.
They do have, from the center, they do have tests. Like, they have driving school there. That's where their classes are held, and they have everything at the driving center. They have the course itself, and I guess that's for practice and for, like, testing. But if you take as a Japanese person, you would take the test, like, off the road. Like, they have the course that has direct access to the road, and then, there's a few... like back roads that they'll wind around, and you have to go to like the super tiny, chicken roads. Yeah. They have like the lip into the rice field.
Yeah. So do you think after having taken the driving test, do you think you would have benefited from going to driving school, or do you think like it didn't really matter, like it didn't affect like? Do you think your driving ability is good enough that like you got your driver's license, so obviously you didn't need it, or?
Well, my argument is that the driving school is not, I'm going to use the word again, proctored by police, and the driving test is.
Right.
So what, even as picky as a person at a driving school will be, they're not going to be as picky as the police.
Right.
Whom are the people that are giving the test.
Yeah.
So equivalently, if your license runs out, and like for me, I was doing license conversion. So if your license runs out, then even not being a Japanese person, you have to take the driving test like a Japanese person. Like, you have to pay a crap ton of money, you have to go to the classes, and it's like weeks at a time. You have to take the longer tests. Although there were a few, like, I had to take paid holidays to take the test, because it's only during it still did not stack up anywhere near what it would be as anyone who had to go to driving school.
Right, because driving school is like $3,000.
Yes.
American,
Yes.
USDs.
Yeah, and you gotta take time for that, and you gotta take the more strict tests.
So, just distraction. How old do you think this steak place is? Like, just based on that sign.
It's 50, probably, maybe in 50s, probably 70 years old.
Literally just opened like over the summer. That
Classic.
sign looks like it's been there for like 30 years.
It's called
faded.
It's modern vintage. I think. It's,
it's been distressed.
Yes. Yes. Oh, pre-distressed.
Pre-distressed. Pre-distressed.
Anyway.
Anywhoozle.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, because I just wanted to know, because like people
it would be.
have
I mean,
asked
I didn't
here,
think, because there were a lot of people that were like, "Hey, because I'd heard rumors that if you go to driving school, or even if you go for like a day, a couple hours, and you spend the money,
it's like a
Then
guaranteed.
it'll and you give that to the driving center, and it's like, oh, he went to driving school and he's trying, but that doesn't give you extra points. It gives you the extra
appearance of
It gives you the extra like actual practice. Yeah. But it does not help you on the test itself.
Right.
Like, you're not gonna get, because you can only for mine.
Yikes! That wasn't directed at me.
No.
Somebody was angry.
You can only make 3 mistakes in the driving test.
Right.
And if you make 4, you fail. So, like, if you go to driving school and you spend the money and the time, they're not like, oh, we'll give you 5 points. You don't get an extra points.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you that benefit, so that's why I didn't see there was like
to play
benefit to it.
Devil's advocate.
Devil's avocado.
Avocado.
Yeah.
Little cotto.
Little
Anyways, I would say that maybe going to driving school wouldn't, if you are not familiar with Japanese driving laws or
there's a lot of
stuff that
like, they're a lot tighter than
there's a lot of stuff that you might not be familiar with that it would help you.
If you have the chance, if you have an opportunity and you're worried about it, then you should do it. I was not as much worried about like that adjustment. It was just like, I go and I take it, and if I don't pass right away, like, oh, okay, now I know what they're looking for.
Right.
So I feel like if you go to the police and you get them to tell you what they're looking for, it's closer to the horse's mouth of what they want from you.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that answers everything that I wanted to know about driving in Japan. Also buying a car in Japan. So, so I guess that's going to do it for this edition of the Friday video thing. Thanks for watching. As always, if you have any questions or comments, head over to facebook.com/Higgins in Japan. Thanks, Titus, for being in my car.
Yep.
Get out.
All right. Inaugural edition. It's the last one, first and last.
First and last. All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace.